Alright, so I'm going to be going over draw on liquidity in this video. Draw on liquidity is a little bit difficult to explain. It's just something that you get a hang of once you have enough time looking at charts, understanding how market moves. But to put it simply, think of draw on liquidity where your stop losses would be, right? Where your stop loss and where your take profit would usually be is on a swing high or on a swing low, right? So these are very strong draws on liquidity. You can see right here, as soon as we hit this draw on liquidity, this session's high, the previous day, New York AM, we wipe it out on NASDAQ. And then what happens as soon as we wipe out this, we dump. We absolutely dump. And then we target the next draw on liquidity, which is what? These previous session lows. My trade, it came off of this reversal because we left these huge rejection blocks. And we also had an SMT. The SMT was probably the biggest thing. We manipulated below true day, wiped out both of these sessions, left a huge rejection block. But on S&P, we only took out the London lows, but we didn't take out Asia lows. So that for me was just confirmation on a lower time frame to go ahead and take longs. And that's the trade I took on Friday. But what I'm expecting to see now is this next draw on liquidity. Right now we have a bearish SMT, or a bearish SMT that's forming. Let me check the higher time frame. Yeah, so we do have a bearish SMT right now on the higher time frame. What I'm expecting though is for price to possibly come back down here into a fair value gap or into this rejection block and then come to wipe out this top. Because we also have a lot of equal highs up here. We have 4 equal highs. This is 2 equal highs. So really we could either come up to this area here or come down to this area and then come up to wipe out this draw on liquidity. Or if we start to like inverse these fair value gaps, then that would give you confirmation that, hey, the next draw on liquidity that's going to get taken out is probably these lows right here. So when you know what draw on liquidity is, and then you can follow along with price action, you can just put those two together to know, okay, the price action that I'm seeing is giving me confirmation of either bearish or bullish order flow. So I'm going to go ahead and target the corresponding draw on liquidity. Let's say market opens up and we start to inverse this gap right here. Bam, just a huge inverse. And we're disrespecting all of the fair value gaps on the smaller time frame. The next draw on liquidity is probably going to be either the 50% of this rejection block or these lows right here. Now, let's say we open up and we start to respect this fair value gap. We start to go up. Then, of course, the next draw on liquidity would be these highs, these previous highs that we have here. And then after that, it would be the next draw on liquidity right up here, these highs right here. So if we are respecting a certain order flow, a certain trend, we have to take into account what's the next high, what's the next low. This is a lot different from trading a few months ago in this situation, because this is all-time highs. You don't really have a previous high to go off of and say, hey, this is the top, or hey, this is the, it's just there's no information on the left. But when you're in this type of market where you have information on the left side, it's a lot easier to say, okay, once we visit these highs, we could probably see a reversal down. It doesn't have to be a full-on reversal, just a retracement. And then we retrace down to come into a fair value gap or something to go back up, and then we continue up. Or it could be that we take out these highs, we come down slightly, but we continue ripping up completely into the next draw on liquidity up here. But the beautiful thing about draw on liquidity as well in these type of situations is that you have all of these equal highs right here, right? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 equal highs. But right above these equal highs, you also have an unmitigated fair value gap down here. And actually, it looks like a unicorn setup as well, because you have this order block inside of this fair value gap on the 4-hour. So if we were to respect this fair value gap and go up, more than likely we're going to get a wick that goes up into this area and then comes back down to take out some liquidity, possibly a lot of liquidity. Look at this, we're on a real good trend right now. I don't really use trends, but but yeah, some people use them. With these trends, these are also very strong draws on liquidity. You can see on these previous trend lines right here, we're respecting them basically until we don't. We wiped out this liquidity right here. And then what happens as soon as this draw on liquidity is wiped out? Bam, we start ripping up again. But then we start disrespecting price, and then we start respecting bearish flow. And what's the next draw on liquidity? This previous low that we had, because we're breaking the trend, and it's just the next draw on liquidity. Keep in mind, I don't use trend lines, man. I'm just using this for the example. I don't use trend lines. But yeah. Another good example is right here. So let's say you already see this bearish fair value gap, or this bearish SMT building up, right? It's 9 a.m. We took out previous day high over here on ES, but on NASDAQ, we didn't take out the high. We left, we wiped out liquidity. We created this rejection block. We closed bearish. So the next draw on liquidity would be true day open. It wouldn't necessarily be London low or Asia low. My first draw on liquidity in that scenario, especially inversing this gap right here, this fair value gap, would have been true day. Another reason why it would have been true day is because more times than not, if you have this kind of scenario where we didn't really manipulate below true day, you will more than likely see New York manipulation at least touch true day or manipulate below true day open. So keep that in mind when you're looking at these levels. I've been getting very busy, but I'm working on more videos. I'm going to be trying to release more videos for you guys. But this draw on liquidity, I hope that works out, or I hope that helps you guys out a little bit. I know I didn't really record my trade breakdown, but there's going to be more trade breakdowns in the future. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to keep you guys posted, and I'm going to give you guys more information so you guys can improve your trading.